All right, so come on in, join us, join us. Again, my name is Linda Peavy, and I'm going to be your host for this afternoon, where we talk about how you get grant money for your woman-owned business or your woman-led nonprofit. So say hello to me as you come into this session. Let me know where you're coming in from. I am in Northeast Ohio, which is not too far from Cleveland. So yes, I'm in the land. So just give your city, your state a shout out as you come in, and let me know who is here with me today. And we're going to get started right at 12:30, and we're going to talk about how you get grant money for your woman-owned business and your woman-led nonprofit. All right, so don't be shy as you come in. Say hello to me. Again, my name is Linda Peavy, and I'm going to be your host for this afternoon, where we talk about how you can secure grants for your, again, either woman-owned business or woman-led nonprofit. So the first thing I'm going to do now is share my screen so that we can get started with the presentation. All right, so everything is looking good thus far. All right, so we are good to go. And all right. All right. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So we're going to get started. Want to make sure you're in the right place. Grant writing for women businesses and even, yes, women-led nonprofits as well. So again, my name is Linda Peavy, and I'm going to be your host for this afternoon, where we will talk about grant money, right? Grant money for your woman-owned business or your woman-led nonprofit. So we're going to get started. I have a lot of information to share with you. Make sure you come into the chat and say hello, but we're going to get started. So we have about 30 minutes. So we're going to move right through because I do have so much information to share with you. All right. Yes, they call me the grants queen because I have secured over $17 million in funding and business development. And this is my 16th year of owning my company, LaPav Consulting. And every one of those years, I have been a professional grant writer. My undergrad and graduate degrees are from the University of Akron. Go Zips! And yes, I do provide grant writing workshops all across the country. Now, I'm also a proud alumnus of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses Program, and I'm also a member of Forbes Black, which is an organization of Black leaders affiliated with Forbes magazine. All right. Now, yes, I have a business, but I've also led a nonprofit. So I have been able to lead from both sectors, from the perspective of owning a business, but also leading a nonprofit. So what you need to know is that, yes, there happens to be grants for both entities. So you may be a small business, but maybe you also have a nonprofit. Yes, there are grants for both, but grants for small businesses, that's new, right? That was not always the case. When you thought about a grant, you thought about what? A nonprofit. But everything has changed now, especially with COVID-19. Now, what we talk about, why this class is important, we'll talk about some grant basics and really how do you prepare to apply for grants? And then what do you write in the application? How do you write the application? But also, how do you attract the organization that literally wants to give you money? And then how do you get that application notice in a sea of applications? And then I'm going to show you how to conduct grant research so that you're finding the organizations that want to give you money as a small business, as a woman-owned small business. And then I do have a bonus surprise for you. And we also will show you a list of grant opportunities that you can be applying for right now. All right. And then if we have the opportunity, definitely want to take a couple of questions. All right, let's get ready to go. So why is this class even important? Because we as women entrepreneurs, look, we need access to money, and it shouldn't always be about loans. We need grant money, right? But guess what? Grant writing is a skill. But what you need to know is that you can do this. You can write grants. Grant writing is no longer sitting in some corner, writing some 500-page document for 3 months at a time. I know, because that's exactly what I used to do. But you need to know that grant applications now, some of them are 2 and 3 pages. Some of them are 2 and 3 questions. So you can do this. You can do this, but you need to know that there's a process. It is about more than just downloading an application and completing a few questions and sending it off. That's really a quick way to get a rejection letter, which we don't want. So because I have secured over $17 million, I know that there's a process. That's also what we'll talk about today. Now, again, why is there even money for small businesses? As I mentioned, COVID-19, when COVID-19 happened, a lot of small businesses went under. You probably know someone that had to close their doors. Maybe you had to pivot. But corporations with foundations, these are the organizations that provide grant money. They said we have to do something about this because too many small businesses were going under. And the small business is the backbone of the U.S. economy. And so they started to create pools of grant money earmarked for, yes, small businesses, and especially women-owned small businesses. So let me just give you some grant basics. What do you need to know? Grants are not paid back, ladies, okay? Grants are not paid back. Now, if you happen to have a nonprofit, you just need to know that you need your 501c3. That is your tax-exempt charitable organization designation by the IRS. Now, the good news is that it used to take about 6 months for the IRS to process these applications. Now it's only taking about 8 weeks. So just in case you have that nonprofit as well as a business, make sure you get your 501c3. That's your tax-exempt designation, because it is a requirement now that if you are a nonprofit seeking grants, you will need that 501c3. Now, I want everybody to pay close attention to this slide here. People were thinking, oh, there's no money. Oh, there's plenty of money. This is foundation and corporation giving just in 2022 alone. And this number increased $180 billion, billion with a B, in 1 year. Oh, that's a lot of money. So don't let anybody tell you that, oh, there's no money, no one's giving. Oh, there's plenty of money. It's really about how do you place your company in a position, right, to win some of this grant money, because it is available. Now, what is important is that you get grant ready, right? You need to be ready to apply for grants. What do you need to do? Get your EIN, your employer identification number, right? Try not to use that social security number just for security reasons. If you're a nonprofit, you need that 501c3. Now, as a for-profit, you may need your business license or your state certification, as is called in some states. Make sure you check with your Secretary of State's website to find out whether or not you are required to have a business license in order to conduct business in your state. I'm in Ohio. It is a requirement. If you're in Wyoming, it isn't. It just depends on what state you're in. Now, you also will need a list of your board of directors if you have one. If you're a nonprofit, it's required. If you're a for-profit, it's not. But just in case you have a board, get that list ready. Get a list of your staff. You need letters of support. Let that foundation know that there are other organizations that support you and your mission. Where can they come from? Could be your vendors, pastor, your church, community leaders, anyone that really knows about the passion that you have for your business. Now, if you're currently operating, you'll need your financial statement. What is that? That's your profit and loss statement, also known as an income statement, and then your balance sheet. Also include an operating budget. Yes, you will need one, even for you startups, because at the end of the day, you must know how much money it's going to take for you to operate your business. So yes, you need an operating budget. And when you're completing that budget, you may discover what's called funding gaps. So let's say you want to open up a daycare center. You may have money for the lease, but when you create that budget, you may realize, I didn't think about marketing dollars. Those funding gaps are great places to apply for grants. And then just make sure you're listing any other funding sources on that application, because foundations don't want to be your only source of support. So even if you have other grant money, other sponsorship money, even other in-kind donations, list them on the application. That is a win for you. Okay. Now I'm going to just go through the typical components of a grant application and give you best practices. This is what you need to do to really place your organization in the best possible position to not just write the grant, but to win the grant. Summary abstract, that's the first section you're going to see. Just don't be fooled, because even though you see it first, you always write it last, because you're going to go through that written application, pull out the most compelling components and dump them into the summary abstract. So it's the first section you see, but you always write it last. Now, mission statement. All of you should have a mission statement, even for your for-profit. Absolutely. Because guess what? It can guide you to the foundation that wants to give you money, because you need to be aligning your mission to the mission of that foundation. Now, the mission is everything. It defines what are you doing, your aims and your goals. And remember, you don't change your mission just based on what foundation you're seeking money from. You need to be seeking foundations that align to your mission. All right. So if you don't have a mission statement, that's homework. Now, history. Every organization has a history. Even if you are a startup, just really write about maybe what was the impetus or the catalyst for you starting your organization. Because whatever that catalyst was is part of the history of how that organization was founded. Next, this is the section that can set you apart on that grant application, how you describe your organization. I want you to use the word impact. Think about impact. What has been the impact of your organization on those for whom you serve? And you need to use real numbers. You have a homeless ministry. How many homeless people have you placed in shelters, right? Let's say you have an online coaching business, right? You're for profit. You have a coaching business. Maybe it's in career development. How many people have you coached to their future careers? And really talk about your experiences of working with their target population. Young lady took my webinar and she said, oh, she lost out on hundreds of thousands of dollars in grant money because she wrote a grant application. She didn't get it. She asked why. That's a tip for all of you. Always ask why you didn't get the grant. And the organization told her that her target population was well defined. Her program was great, but they had no clue that she had ever even worked with that target population. And she said she had decades of experience and didn't put it down. So always write about your experiences. Next, this is really where you may have to rethink how you see your organization, because you have to write this application as if you are resolving an issue, right? And there's always an issue. It doesn't matter what kind of organization you have, program-based, project-based, or even maybe if you have a service, right? I'll give you an example. A bakery. Bakery wanted to locate in a downtown community. She needed a grant. Now you might be thinking, what issue is she resolving? She's making cakes all day. Well, maybe she's a vegan bakery and she's resolving the issue that vegans really don't have a lot of great places to buy baked goods. So really think about what issue you are addressing, because that issue is going to lead you to the organization that wants to give you money, because foundations give according to some area of interest, right, of theirs. Now, how do you find out how foundations give and where they give, what areas they give to? Typically, you can definitely go to the website, right? Because that information is posted, but 90% of foundations don't have a website. So therefore, you can maybe check out their tax return, because that will also give you clues as to where they give. Now, you need to define your target population, ladies. Too many of you have too many people that you're trying to serve. That's a great way to get burnt out. You need one, maybe two target populations. Some of you have 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, who would best be served by your program? Is it people who've aged out of foster care, veterans, homeless? You have to name it, because foundations give according to target populations. So you should have one, maybe two. That's it. One, maybe two. Keep in mind that this grant application is really an opportunity for you to tell your story, right? How have you changed lives with your program? What type of outcomes have you been able to achieve? And I want you to use real examples, testimonials, case studies. There's no better way of doing that than using a video. Yes, you need video testimonials on the home page of your website, right? Ask your client to film a 30-second testimonial on their cell phone and upload it, because foundations will go to your website to really see your footprint, and you want them to see what your impact has been through videos. Now, all of you have a decision to make. Are you asking for operating grant money or program project grant money? Like, we love operating grant money because when you get an operating grant, you get to decide where to put the money. It could be towards salaries or your lease, but only about 32% of foundations give general operating support grants. Most grants have to go to a particular program or project of your company. Now, here's what I want you to remember. You must apply to multiple foundations when you are applying for grants, multiple foundations. Why? Because grants are not guaranteed. Don't let anybody tell you that they can guarantee you grant money. You're about to be scammed. You need to apply to multiple foundations. You need money, apply to foundation A, B, and C, right? It will increase your chances of getting funded, but just don't fall into the trap of thinking that someone can guarantee you grant money. Now, this is important. Make sure you are collaborating with other, mainly well-known organizations in your community. It does two things. It helps to improve your chances of getting the grant, because foundations don't want you to be working alone. They want you to somehow be connecting with your community. And this can be simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. Let's say you have an accounting firm. You could give a free tax talk 1 hour out of every month at your local library. I think libraries are criminally underutilized. You know they're going to promote you. So one, yes, because you're collaborating with a well-respected organization, it's going to look good on that grant application. But number two, you're increasing your level of visibility. Some of you have great programs, great projects, but nobody knows about you or your project, even in your own community. That's why you need to be connecting to very well-respected organizations so that you get a little bit of their shine, because whatever they're doing is going to reflect upon you because you're working with them, whether it's the whwe or maybe another well-respected women's business organization or universities or Greek organization. Just make sure you are connecting somehow to your community. All right. Now, you know that when you seek grant money, you have to talk about what do you think your results are going to be, right? Of you getting the grant money. You may see outputs, outcomes, and impact on the grant application, but don't get frazzled at all, because all they're asking you is to talk about what you think your current and future results will be once you get the grant money. Outputs, immediate results. You get the grant money, this is what's going to happen. Outcomes usually happen 6 months to a year after outputs. Impact happens usually 6 months to a year after your outcomes. But you do have to list, like, what do you think your results are going to be when you get the grant money? Next, you absolutely have to talk about goals. All of you need goals, right? But they have to be SMART goals. Now, what are they? Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Anytime you create a goal, add data and stats, and that will get you your SMART goal. Because on the application, you will need to specifically create goals that are measurable to make sure that you're on track to meet your goals. Okay. Now we're on to the grant budget. This is how you're going to spend the grant money. Now, keep in mind, you have to itemize these expenses. Let's say you want a grant to hire an executive director. You can't just write down, I need 50 grand for an ED. What if it's a contracted executive director? You need to be specific. How much money are you paying this person an hour? How many hours out of the week? How many weeks out of the year? If it's a salary job, how much of the grant money is going towards salaries versus benefits? Now, the numbers that you use typically go into an Excel file as the budget, but how you're using the funding, you're going to write that out in your budget narrative, being specific and itemizing your expenses. Now, really quickly, I want to talk about sustainability because it's important. And I've seen it on almost every grant application in the last several years. Just because you get grant money in year one doesn't mean you're going to get grant money in year two. And foundations don't want to be placed in a position of thinking that they got to give you grant money in year two in order for you to survive and maintain your program. No, they can give you grant money in year one, but you have to talk about, if you don't get grant money in year two, how are you going to sustainability your program beyond year one, even if you don't have grant money? right? Because again, foundations, they don't want to be placed in a position of thinking if they don't give you grant money in year 2, there goes your program. So you have to be really creative and thinking about ways that you can still be able to come up with money in year 2 to pay for whatever your program or project is for which you got grant money in year 1. All right. Now, if you don't pay attention to anything else, this is it. Like, this is the slide. This is as important as anything you will ever write in your grant application. You have to build a relationship with the foundation. Yes, that means you have to meet with them. And guess what? They want to meet with you. They want to meet with you, right? You're building relationship. They want to know about your organization. And oftentimes in that meeting, they will put information, right, in front of you that is not necessarily on their website. And they're going to find out information about you that they'll never be able to read from your website. I've been in foundation leaders meetings. I know that they want to meet, right? I've set up probably 1,000 of these meetings over the course of the last 16 years. Like one 30-minute meeting, 30-minute Zoom meeting, my client got $30,000, right? And a lot of these are Zoom meetings. Now, meet with the foundation if you're in the local vicinity. But a lot of these meetings, especially with the national foundations, 30-minute Zoom meeting, right? But you have to have a mindset of winning. You can do this. A lot of you are thinking, Linda, I don't have time. Like, I just don't have time to write grants. Remember I said at the beginning, some grants are 2 and 3 pages. Some are 2 and 3 questions. You have to ask yourself, do you have time to get free money? Do you have time to get this free money? Because if you have time to get this free money, I need you to spend just a little bit of time on the process of getting the free money. Now, quickly, this is how you do grant research. This is how you find the grants. Foundation Directory Online is the leading source of information on grants. They're $50 a month or free at your local library. Grants.gov, that's for federal grants. I love Grant Watch. They're $20 a week. They give you information about the actual grant, a link to the grant, contact information, name of the contact, email address, right? A synopsis of the grant, a link to the grant, information about the grant foundation, $20 a week. Grant Station is $200 for the entire year. And I think they do a great job of really giving you a lot of information where you can input specifics and details about your organization. And then for both of those, you get a list of grants. This is just a homepage of Grant Watch. As you can see, you check business or nonprofit, you start filling out your filters, right? Are you business, nonprofit, individual, your target populations, your subject areas, and get a list of grants. Now, here's a clue for all of you. Some of you are leaving money on the table, right? Because you won't go local. You must start local. It's easier to get local grant money, right? You should be meeting with your local community foundation. There's one in almost every community. Google local community foundation near me and meet with them, right? But this is not just about local funds. This is also about national foundations. Just because the foundation is headquartered in California doesn't mean they're not giving grants to you and you're in Michigan. And for my international friends, absolutely, this is for you, right? So yes, 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 you can search for grants if you do not live in the United States, or you may live in the United States and serve a population in another country. You can search for grants. You can live in another country, whether it's Belize or Africa, right? And yes, you can search for grants. So this is not just for organizations that live in the US, but you input your information into Grant Watch, you push a button, up pops a list of grant opportunities for you. Now here's a list of grant opportunities for you. HelloAlice.com. I highly recommend you sign up to them. They are always submitting lists of grants for women businesses. Main Street grant. Do you have a brick and mortar? That grant is for you. Do you have a beauty product? There's a L'Oreal grant, Amber Grants for Women. They give away $10,000 every single month. NASE, they have grants. Visas, She's Next has a grant. I Fund Women, Cartier, the jewelry company, they have a grant. Even if you are a startup, there are grants for you. Busy and Sky's the Limit, they have grants. Are you really small and thinking, oh, I'm too small to get grants? Not true. Amarillo gives grants to really small organizations. Or you might be thinking, Linda, I don't have some big org chart. It's just me, right? You can still get grants. They're all volunteer organizations with no paid people on their staff that get grant money every day. You can do this, right? And then definitely network, right? Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs is a great opportunity for you to network with like-minded women, but there are a couple of others listed there as well. Now, as I said, I've been in this business for 16 years and I am here to help you. So what did I do? I created an online grant writing course to help you get this money. This is how I won $17 million. I put it in a course, step by step, so that I can help you do the same. Yes, it includes my coaching. You get grant research techniques, right? I show you how to find funders who want to give you money. And then how do you approach them? Approach is everything. And then I teach you how to write every single part of the narrative. And let me tell you, people have taken this course, they become professional grant writers, and now they write grants for other people. It's really remarkable. You get 12 modules, 35 lessons. You get a video before every lesson, but I give you real lessons. This is not just some course of videos, right? And after that lesson, after you answered my questions, you have a beautiful grant template that you are now going to use to start applying for grants, right? So this is serious. We're here to help you get grant money. And yes, I give you actual grant examples so that you know what the grant application components look like, right? And you get a list of over 500 organizations providing funds. No one else is giving you that kind of information with their grant writing course. And I give you a private Facebook group where, oh my gosh, so many grants are being dropped, and all of the students in my group, they want every other student to win money, and students are winning money. Like this is for real, ladies. And then I give you one more bonus, an hour of group coaching. That's not one and done. Every single month you get an hour of group coaching because I am here to help you get this money. Now, my course is valued at $5,000, and that's not some pie in the sky number that I just plucked, out of the clouds. Your university courses are $5,000, and you maybe get the information for 2 or 3 months. You certainly don't have access to the professors, but this course never expires. My regular price is $997, right? And that's a great price for what you get. But typically I have it discounted to $497 only because I'm truly trying to make it affordable, right? But you came on and you watched, right? You watched this webinar with Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs, letting me know you're serious about getting help. So I'm serious about helping you. So you're getting an additional 50% off of the $497 price. $247, one and done. You'll get that price for 3 days only. If you need extra help, and I understand if you do, right? We're entrepreneurs. You get to make 2 payments if you want, $137.50 now, and then $137.50 a month from now. But you have to use these codes. The codes are very important because that's how you get the discount. And keep in mind, the course never expires. So this is everything you get. I didn't even talk about the letter of inquiry, right? You get a private Facebook group. And by the way, you write everything off. So you're, yes, getting a $5,000 course for $247 that you write off because it is a business expense that you will be getting a certificate for when you are done. But I literally teach you how to get this done. How do you meet with funders? What do you say in the meeting? How do you present yourself? You have the course and then you have the coaching, right? Because that's important. So if you want to be able to purchase the course, you'll be getting the link. You hit purchase. Now, instead of $497, you're going to hit $497, but that's not what you're paying because guess what? You have a coupon code and you have a big one. You put in that coupon, it will take $250 off the price of this course. Now, this little block here, that's you and me one-on-one. I do a deep dive into your organization. Before we even talk about grants, I talk about your mission, vision, right? Infrastructure, target population, or you leave with complete clarity as to what you should be doing and where you should be looking, because that's a deep dive that I do with you. And it's normally $495. But if you buy it with the course, this is the only time it's discounted to $195. You get the session notes and the session video. And you can add the $195 onto the $247 if you like. You want to make the 2 payments, hit the link. Now you're going to look for that little black drop down arrow. You hit that arrow, 2 times $275. That's what you hit, but that's what everybody else is paying. Oh, that's not what you're paying because you have this incredible discount code. Most people don't, right? This is special for this group. And you enter your code and takes off 50%. There you are, $137.50 now, and then $137.50 in a month. And yes, you can add on the $195 to that price. Now, I want to show you a couple of people that have been my students and they've been helped remarkably. Whitney, $200,000 just last year, by the way. She would never have thought she would receive any grants, but she started local, like I'm telling you to do. Southern Power Fund gave her $40,000. National Birth Equity, which is national. Remember, go local and national. Gave her $50,000. I thought Whitney was done. Whitney surprised me and said, Linda, my total last year was $200,000. Never thought she would get any grants. Oh my goodness, this is a LLC out of North Carolina. $20,000 grant winner, Miss Peavy. This is Michelle Richardson and Annette Thompson of Tranquility Point Therapeutic Massage. They have a massage company. We both wanted to share our wonderful, fabulous news. Our small business was awarded a $20,000 grant. We are so very thankful and grateful for your course. It's been life-changing. Christina, may I share that I'm so grateful for Linda. I would not have had the confidence to follow through on applying for grants if it wasn't for a grant writing course. The depth of information provided is unmatched, right? And she's an educator, right? She won $10,000. April won a pitch competition. Maybe some of you ladies are pitching your business. The course is great. April called me. She said, Linda, I'm ready. You taught me how to tell my story. She came in second place, beat out 100 competitors, took home $9,000. Quenisha got a $750 grant for Walmart. She took that one-on-one session. She bought it. She said, thanks, Linda Peavy, because that one-on-one session we had is getting my organization funded. And look at Kimberly, 4 sponsorships since April. Amazing. Amazing. So that is the offer that you have. I am hoping that this webinar was very, very helpful for you. I will be dropping a replay of it into the Facebook group. You have the offer for the additional 50% off for the next 3 days is when you will be able to take advantage of that $5,000 course for $247, or 2 payments of $137.50. Remember, you write it off as a tax deduction. And hopefully I'll see you in the course. Hopefully I'll see you over in the Facebook group, because that's an amazing group where you get so much help. I drop so many different grants. So thank you so much for hopping on. My name is Linda Peavy, and I am founder of the course Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys to Winning Grant Proposals, and creator of the company LaPav Consulting. And I'll see you in Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs Facebook group. So thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully you all are going to be on your way to getting grant money, because I hear from so many of you. I know you're tired of self-funding. You're tired of using your own money. Come into a professional setting with an expert and let me help you. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.